Hi. What I'm going to talk about today is probably going to sound counterintuitive to what I've been saying the last couple of weeks because I've been talking about moving forward and not letting age hold you back. But today I want to talk to you about whatever journey you're on, the importance of taking time to pause. I think that many people put very high expectations on themselves, especially women. And I would say especially women who are in some sort of service field of employment, or moms who are staying home with kids. We put more focus on others than ourselves. We often are understanding and compassionate with others who need time for a time out, for a pause, but we so often don't give that to ourselves. Studies even show that giving ourselves a break is probably the number one thing to creating a healthier life for ourselves. I think we worry that if we're self-compassionate, that we'll become self-indulgent. Self-compassion is actually conducive to motivation. So if we are being compassionate with ourselves, we're giving ourselves time to pause, to catch our breath, to regroup, renew, refresh, then it is going to lead to motivation to do things. Because if we're running empty all the time, we're gonna lose our motivation. We're gonna lose sight of our goals, and we're just gonna crash at a certain point. When you are purposeful in giving yourself time to pause, then you are allowing yourself to truly be present. And that being present gives you time to focus on what is lacking, where you've been running too fast, where your sight has gotten off the true things that matter to you. And all of this brings you back to the present moment and gives you time to take pause and truly think about where you've gotten out of alignment. Just like a car, when it's out of alignment, it's bumpy, it's not on the right track. And that's how our lives can become. Here is the key thing I want you to hear today. Neglecting ourselves is not noble. When you are neglecting yourself, it doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you queen of everything. It just gets everything out of whack. You may think you have all those balls up in the air, but they're gonna drop, and they're gonna drop hard at a certain time. You have got to take time for yourself. All right, I want you to listen to this list I made of some red flags that I know I have seen, that I struggle with this. And I want you to mentally, or maybe write them down. I want you to think about if these are present in your life and which ones you struggle with the most. So the red flags that I came up with are anxiety, your mind won't shut down, constant tiredness, irritability, poor sleep patterns, muscle tension, constant low-grade depression, feeling like your life is all work and no play, negative and self-sabotaging talk to yourself, and low self-worth and insecurity. If any of those are present, those are some red flags that you need a pause. Now, on the other hand, I came up with a list of some self-care ideas. A day at the spa is wonderful. A vacation away from reality is wonderful, but that isn't always possible. So these are some free things that are worth a million if you'll take time to do them. They may not speak to you like they do me, so you'll have to think about some of your own self-care ideas perhaps, but here's some that maybe will resonate with somebody. For me, sitting in nature is just wonderful. I live in nature, like it's very abundant where I live, so that is helpful. Just sitting on my front porch and watching the birds fly into the bird feeder means the world to me. Taking my dog for a walk every day means the world to me. Taking time, getting up early enough to see the sunrise, staying up, or getting home in time to see the sunset. Those are things in nature that just float my boat. A deep, mindful breath. That sounds silly. Of course, we all breathe all day, but I literally one day at work was just hustling and bustling, and I had gone by this particular office tremendously amount of times, and finally the woman looked up and she said, "Devon, stop and breathe." And I realized, honest to goodness, I had not stopped all day and I had not taken a deep breath in and then exhaling it out. And that is critical. Take a nap. It's allowed. I love my Christmas break from work, and I nap nearly every day during that time because I don't have to worry about whether it's going to mess up my sleep at night. But there's nothing like even just a power nap. I can't do it during the week, obviously, because I'm at work. But on the weekend, sometimes I'll give myself just like 30 minutes. I'll set an alarm and take 30 minutes to take a nap. And oh, I get up so refreshed. Dance. I've shared my love for dance. It doesn't matter if you can't. I can't. But it will do something for you to just put on your favorite song and move a little bit. And I do this at work in my office too. Take a walk. Like I said, I love to go for walks with my dog. My husband knows me well enough to know that if something is really bugging me, even when I say I don't want to talk about it, if he takes me on a walk, I'm most likely going to talk about it. And so walks are wonderful therapy. Laugh. Find friends who make you laugh. Watch videos that make you laugh. A show that makes you laugh. Tell yourself a joke. My husband does that all the time. And it looks really crazy because we'll just be sitting at the dinner table and all of a sudden he'll start laughing and I'll say, "What's so funny?" "Oh, I just told myself a joke." So do that. Have your little repertoire of jokes to tell yourself. Have a good cry. I did that this week and it hit me out of the blue. But when it was over, I realized, oh, I hadn't cried in a while, which is a good thing. But a good, just deep cry, or you just let it all out, it feels good afterwards. It's kind of tiring, but it feels good. Learned something new. So my son and I, during the early part of quarantine, signed up with my daughter and her husband's company that they have, and we learned Spanish. Me very poorly, Drake very well. But it was fun. It was really fun to have communication that way, and I do want to learn Spanish. So it's my son-in-law comes from a Spanish background. He can speak English too, thank goodness. But I want to be able to communicate with him in his given language. So that was fun. Journal. You know, I'm a writer and I love to write, so this isn't always as easy for other people, but it really will help if you write down your thoughts, not just think them, and then go back and look at them. And it's really cool then to see like where you are making progress. So if self-care is something that you need to be working on and you start journaling about it, and then down the road, you look back and you say, "Oh, wow, look, I'm really doing better at this." Or it may remind you, "Ooh, I need to get back on that." Try to take time to still your mind. This is hard for me. And I have started making myself go upstairs to my room alone at a certain given time every night. No TV, no music, no phone. And I give myself like an hour to decompress, and I spend time in gratitude. I spend time reading my Bible, prayer, and then I just shut down and read. For me, reading helps me go to sleep. And so I'll read something and just kind of drift off. Like I said, take a break from media. So for me, I have to shut it down at a certain time at night. And I'm finding more and more, I don't know if others of you are like this, but I'm finding more and more, I don't really want to watch TV anymore. I don't want to look at Facebook as much anymore. I think the politics and just all the yucky in the world is just getting too heavy. And so I'm spending less and less time with any kind of media. So those are some self-care things that you can do, and notice they were all free. What I want to end with is just the thought that we need to know ourselves, know what our values are, because when we know that and what's at our core, then it's easier to let the extras fall away. And that's what the last few years of my life have been about, is what is truly important in this world, what is truly important to me, and other things don't matter. And I think if anything wonderful came out of quarantine, not only would I say that's one of my things, but I've heard other people say that too. Just learning what truly matters, and realizing there's a lot in our lives that just junk it up, that we don't need. And so take time to think about what those core values to you are. What are really the top 3 or 5 things in your life? And put your emphasis there and stop running to do everything else if it's not really of a long-lasting worthiness. Open yourself to beauty and adventure. So I've talked about before, I think, that every day I look for the beauty in the day. And the more you look, the more you see. And adventure doesn't have to cost a thing. It can be a hike. It can be a bike ride. It can be trying a new food, cooking at home. And so the more emphasis we put on the beauty in our days, the calmer our mind will be, the happier our soul will be, the more fulfilled our heart will be. These are wonderful, amazing things. And the cool thing is, if you are watching a sunrise or you're watching a beautiful sunset, then it's like almost impossible not to be present in the moment. So your mind's not going to be thinking about the bills or about cleaning the house or that project at work, because the sunset is going to just awe you to the point that that's only where you are, right there in the midst of the sunset. So that's a neat thing to think about. And then, just like me, end your day in gratitude. Think about where were the good things in your day. And if they were missing, think about how you can find them the next day. And then fill your own cup. We cannot pour out on others if we don't pour into ourselves. So just like I started this conversation, I think that it's so easy for us to give to others and neglect ourselves. So it is really, honestly, okay to pour into yourself however you need to. So when I start feeling uncomfortable, or I get irritable, or I just feel like something's off in my life, I can usually trace it back to one of those things I should have been doing. So I can ask myself, ooh, are you thinking about the good things in your day today? Are you taking time to rest? Are you looking for beauty? Are you filling up your own cup? All those things, if I'm feeling off, unless I'm just hangry, I'm probably forgetting to do one of those things. So I hope that these things will help you. And I hope that you'll take time to think about how you can nurture your own self, so that you can be the best you for everybody else, because that's what it leads to. So just keep in mind as I end that it is not an option to not take care of yourself. I hope you have a blessed day.